Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. This is the IMDb studio at Acura Festival Village. And look, it's the cast and crew of Zola. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. You guys screened yesterday and everything, according to Twitter and people that I ran into, said you went through the roof. How was the screening?
I think it went well. I'm the director of Zola and the co-writer. I was physically present. My body was there, but I think my brain and my spirit might have been sort of above the theater. And when I could check in, it seemed to be going well.
Why do you feel that way? This is not your first time at the dance. This is your second dance, correct?
This
Lemon,
is actually
a couple years ago?
It's my second feature at the festival and the fourth time I've played work at the festival. But every time, I think right before you show it, you direct work. It stays
Barely.
with, no, you do. And it stays with you for this period of time, and then suddenly you release it, and it is exciting but also terrifying and a strange experience to amputate the piece in a way.
Right, but at least if you're going out there with something, you're armed for battle. Heavens, this is a very, the movie comes from a Twitter thread, is that correct? And is it your Twitter thread?
Yes.
Take us into it.
Take you into the Twitter thread?
Yeah, 2015. Why do you write this thing?
Well, it was like my third time writing it on Twitter, and I don't know, writing is just my way of like forgetting things, kind of like my healing process, and so, yeah, I was healing through it, so I was rewriting it, and the engagement was there. It kind of just took a life of its own.
Did you ever in a million years imagine like, oh, this is cinematic material?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yes.
She wrote it like a film. I mean, it has a proper 3-act structure. There are strong characters. There is an arc. There is so much energy in it. I mean, it had read like, to me, it read like a script. And when it came to adapting it, the most important thing was how do we translate the voice that is, this electric voice that is in every drop of this text. That would be perhaps the most challenging thing. Otherwise, it was there. It was so visual and visceral and aggressive. So yeah.
Why, thank you.
So it's adapting a book, pretty much.
I mean, to me, it was no different than adapting a piece of text. It is a piece of text. I think that what Asia did was tell us that there is potential for source material outside of what we are used to.
For those at home who are like, what was it about? Try to tell the story.
It is a dark comedy. 2 women become fast friends and take a road trip from Detroit to Florida, and things.
Fast.
They become fast friends, and things don't go as planned or pitched.
Now, you play her, correct?
Yes.
What is it like playing a real live person?
Pretty incredible, actually. I mean, I was terrified because I obviously just wanted her to approve, and I wanted to honor her and honor what she's been through and make sure I hit the character. But I worked at a strip club for a month to prepare for the role and kind of went in undercover and just got into the mindset, eat or be eaten.
Riley, you play the chick who brings her into this weird, wacky world. What was that like?
It was actually very fun to play. It was a time I'm often asked to be like very understated and like naturalistic and whatever. And Janicza wanted to go like big with it and make it as crazy as possible, so that was really a fun experience for me. And I think
You're funny. To me, you are so funny in spending time with you, and it was so important that we shine how funny you are and your comedic timing, which I think is quite brilliant. And in the other work that you've done, you are more subdued and the tenor is a bit more dramatic, and it was so exciting to get to play in this new way with you.
Yeah, I think that's I think in life I'm not super serious and I'm much more silly, and as you can tell right now.
What a laugh,
I
Ryan.
have pneumonia.
You seem so goofy
Just
right
so you
now.
know.
This is the goofiest I've ever
It's
seen
really
you.
goofy. I have pneumonia. I'm sorry.
You seem heavily medicated. So
I'm
like,
heavily medicated. Janicza.
Nick, you play her significant other.
I play her boyfriend, lover, her longtime lover. I'm not her baby daddy, but she has a child that I take care of with her. I deeply love her. She doesn't love me as much as I love her.
That's not true.
That's what I feel, babe. And yeah, Derek is pretty lost, I think, in life. I think he's a vapor without a vape, you know?
Nice.
We wanted him to be a vapor, and then I tried vaping a bunch the first day, and it was just, it's bad, it's hard.
Yeah, it's tough on the lungs.
It's tough on the lungs.
Actually,
and
yes, I remember you were like, I think he could vape, and I was like, just try it for the next few hours and see what you think about that. And you were like, actually,
30 minutes
that's a
later,
terrible idea. I don't want to do
not to-
that.
They're here with us today.
They're still good. It would have been a tough one. But he does drink a lot of Red Bull, and he's a candy fiend, you know. And she's a piece of candy for him, the biggest piece of candy. So
Right.
that's
Somebody described a scene for me where they're like, this character has to do this, and I was like, oh my lord, that sounds like written for Nick Braun.
yeah, desperately in love and not getting
Yes,
the
that's
love
Nick Braun
returned
I
to
know.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like you.
Yeah, that's kind of typecasting.
Yeah.
Cool. Just telling my life story. Just grew a chin strap beard and
That
played
was the
myself.
only
you know.
difference.
Yeah, that's it.
Coleman, what do you bring to the proceedings?
I play the hero in this story. Understated, simple, kind man
Yes.
who, does some really terrible things to people. But I play X, and he's based on a real guy who did some, sex trafficking and, kidnapping, all that really fun stuff.
Right.
But basically I still wanted to find like what's human about him, and we had some size to him as well, and also to really examine he's based on a pretty terrible person, but you also have to humanize them and sort of find out what makes them tick, what makes them, what do they want? They want what everybody else wants too. They want family, the American dream, you name it. They want money, and then they pay the cost later. So I play, the gentleman hero.
To himself.
Prison.
Yeah,
His own
to
term.
himself. Exactly.
Baby,
Coleman
your
is
wife.
deeply charming, and his character is also deeply charming, but at the core is quite rotted. And I remember when showing one of the early cuts of the film, one of our producers had said, I'm really worried that Coleman's too hot for this. And I was like, huh? But I remember when my editor Joy and I would work on it, we would think about that, and we were like, well, yes, he is quite beautiful, but I think what she meant is that his spirit is so gentle, and you want to root for him, but this is a person that you really don't want to root for. But I think that is what feels really special about this with a lot of these characters. When they do things that are truly apprehensive, you are still somewhat on their side because you're on these actor sides, right? You love the way that they perform and they play, and so the challenge is how you separate, how you process them, and then their approach to those characters.
This sounds way more complex than your day job.
Fear the Walking Dead. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little more complex than Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, I'm still in an apocalyptic world in some way, and in some way in Tampa we were shooting. In some places, in some motels, felt a bit apocalyptic,
Right.
but
Right.
it was just right for the tenor that we needed for the film.
We were
And
the Walking Dead.
and we were the.
Surrounded. It's the first movie I think that's based on a series of tweets, right? What is your? I saw credits. Somebody showed me the original tweet thread.
Yeah.
Is credited to you as well.
Yeah.
So there's right away before anybody sees the movie, they understand oh, this is something kind of special. But you had to live up to something that had already been special in the real world for a long time. How difficult and how close do you want to get to the original thread?
I'd say it's pretty close.
Spot on.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close. There are a couple of liberties taken within real pieces that she wrote. And then there is a story, or there is something that happens in it that was not in the Twitter thread that we had talked about when I had asked it to sort of walk me through the events. But it is, I would say, very close to what she penned.
And did you, when you were going into it, to me, I would like having read the thread. It'd be like, I can't touch this. Like this stands alone by itself. It would be intimidating. Were you intimidated at all?
No, I wasn't. I think the thing that pulled me to it was the voice and her agency, and what I had related to or what I tapped into was the whole the piece as a whole is a processing of trauma, and it's processing trauma through humor.
Right.
And I feel in my own life I've certainly done that, and I think a lot of us, you know, in the thing that we do, we have our ways of doing that, or we have access to that. And so I wasn't intimidated by it any more than you are by wanting to do a good job and hoping that, you know, you don't fail.
So damn eloquent. We're gonna hit you guys with some fast questions, man. Don't think too hard, just answer. Ready?
Oh.
What's the last, you got this. What's the last show that you binged?
Cheer on Netflix.
You were the third person to say that today. It's a
It
massive
was
favorite.
Incredible.
Sell it to the
Oh
audience.
my God, I love this show so much. Everything about it. I can't stop talking about it. I don't want to give anything away because I don't think a lot of people have seen it, but it is truly one of the most special things I've seen. A solid portrait of America. So stressful. It was so stressful. I had to take breaks while watching it because it was really hurting me. It's genius.
Excellent. You and Mila Kunis was the same thing. She went long on it and was just like, oh my God, I'm wrapped up in it.
Beyond.
You on Netflix.
You watched You as well. How was it? What'd you find that you liked about it?
It was really dramatic, and I actually like the bad guy. I like him a lot. But he's hot.
He's really hot.
I like him a lot. I wanted to be locked in the glass box.
He may be watching the IMDb
I
right now. Let him
totally
know.
want to
Maybe
be
look to
locked in
camera?
the glass. I would like to be locked in the glass box.
Top that, Riley.
Honestly, the last thing I binged was, is it Our Planet?
The
The animal Planet Earth.
Planet
No,
Earth.
not Planet Earth. It's not Planet Earth.
Oh, sorry.
It's the Netflix one. Don't know what it's called.
So it's a show about nature
Animals.
and stuff?
Yeah.
Binged a lot of koalas, did you?
Binged.
Well done.
Binged koalas.
Honestly, I haven't binged in a while. I just started Peaky Blinders.
How is it?
It's quite good. It's amazing. I don't know how they create. Have you guys seen it?
No.
It's so good.
What about you, sir?
I've been binging The Act and Chernobyl simultaneously, kind of trading them off.
Back and forth?
Yeah, sort of. Very different
Little
stuff.
surf and turf right there? Just
Yeah,
very different
little
styles.
nuclear stuff, and then some suburban sort of home warfare, I should say.
I'll be honest with you, the biggest answer up here has been Succession.
Okay.
Over and over again. People are like,
gotta
I'm
watch
watching
that.
Succession in a way where I'm like,
I thought
gotta
you
see
said
that.
Netflix.
You should see
Isn't
it.
Is that Netflix?
HBO.
Yeah, I thought you said Netflix.
I think it's a Showtime show. No, we were just saying anything.
Oh, anything?
Yeah, why? Do you
I
have
would've
something
had
that's
such an
not animal oriented?
embarrassing answer.
Oh, any.
Go ahead, you may change it.
Any network. Yeah,
Oh,
anything.
no.
I would have said
Stop.
Fixer Upper and HGTV. Anything.
Done and done. That's a
Fixer
great answer.
Upper.
House Hunters. Everyone trying to be classy. They're like,
Fixer
Peaky
Upper.
Blinders.
Chip and Joanna Gaines.
That's good.
That is good. What has
yeah.
it been like for you? Cousin Greg is like taking off in a big bad way. You're the only way in for most people into that show. You're the only normal person.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, yeah, he's just wandering into a world that is totally not suited for him. So I think people have a good time watching him be clueless, but trying really hard to fit in. I think we all,
like you.
just like me, right
Life.
now, at Sundance.
I'm Cousin Greg too, Nick.
I think we're all Gregs in a way, you know.
I don't think
I
We're all
that
just
was
like Greggy.
It's
No.
not. As I watch that show, I'm like, that is so not Cousin Greg.
Wait,
That's
Janicza,
literally
you're not a
About
Greg?
myself.
No.
You're not a Greg. Okay.
I would say of the characters on Succession, I feel like I'm more of a Shiv.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody agreed right away. They all agreed.
An emphatic yes from the audience.
One of my favorite memories in making movies is I made a movie with Nick years ago called Red State. And Nick one day came in, I was a kid of the 70s and 80s. He comes in and he goes, I want to wear like long hair, but it's like shaved in the back and it's a real long, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's called a rat tail. And I'm like, I grew up with a rat tail. And he was like, oh, can I wear that? And I was like, absolutely. It made all the difference to that character.
Yeah, I glued it in for the whole time that we shot. So I had to live with a rat tail for like 6 weeks. And people didn't talk to me very much. Like, people really ignored
tough
me
look.
with that.
What
Yeah,
about
it's
when
tough.
you had the chin strap for the movie? What about that?
Also, people didn't talk to me in Tampa very
Tell
much.
them you were a
with
character actor.
I live in the character.
Colman, what was the last thing that you binged?
It was actually The Last OG, season 2.
How was
It
it?
was fantastic. It was fantastic writing. I thought it was really funny.
I love him. Give it up for the cast and crew of Zola, ladies and gentlemen.